Welcome to Elevated, a place where the mystical meets the everyday. I am Dawn, a stay-at-home mom to a wild and spirited boy, and a guide in the realms of Reiki, Akashic Records, natural healing, and soulful living. Here, we'll talk energy, intuition, spirituality, but also the realness of motherhood, wellness, and creating balance in the chaos of it all. So grab your tea, take a deep breath, and join me as we explore healing, alignment, and the beauty of both the magical and the messy. Welcome to Elevated. Welcome to Elevated. I'm your host, Dawn. How's it going? What's new today? What I wanted to talk about today was subconscious blocks, worthiness, self-love, who are you, that type of thing. It's not what I thought I'd be coming down to talk about today when I was doing my podcast. Originally this week when I was thinking about what I was gonna do for my podcast this week, I was like, okay, I think we should do it chronologically, right? I should do my welcome one, and then I should go into my spiritual journey, how that happened, and just go that way. But I can't. Nope. Something came up this week. Massive realizations came up. And I think I'm just going to use this podcast today as my journal almost. I hope that's okay. I really do. But I need to unpack some stuff. And I'm working through it. I am trying to unpack it. And I just feel like as I'm unpacking it, it could actually help you. Maybe this is something you need to hear. Maybe this is something you're working on. The topic today is sabotaging, the feeling of a lack of self-worth, a feeling of not being lovable, all of that kind of stuff. So it's going to be a good one, I feel. I really do. Let's get into it. Where to start on this journey? I'm going to say I do believe that anytime you, and maybe this is just because that's how it's happened for me, so I shouldn't say I believe it, but in my experience, every time that I have started a new modality, I've gone on to a spiritual deep dive, maybe a dark soul of the night, kind of trying to do a lot of shadow work journey, I'll say. It happened when I started when I had my first Reiki appointment or session on myself back in 2017. And that was great. I definitely needed that. I'm so grateful that I had that for the life events that happened in 2018. I definitely needed that foundation in 2017. And we will get into that, but that is a completely different podcast. And if I even remotely got into it right now, we wouldn't get into what I wanted to get into for today. Let's just sidebar that and we'll come back to that one definitely. Back in September, I was honored to get a Akashic Records reading done. I've always been interested in the Akashic Records ever since I've heard about them. They've intrigued me beyond belief. I was listening to a podcast, The Reiki Life, and the one was doing Akashic Records reading. And I was like, ooh, I definitely want to get the Akashic Records read, mine read. I want to know more about this and all that. So she read them for me. Amazing. Honestly, amazing information that comes through the Akashic Records. It is beyond believable what came through. But it led me down this path of going and doing way more shadow work than I could even remotely think of or even fathom that I would be doing. Doing that after that reading, I was like, okay. And I'm researching the lady that taught her. I go to Kayla's website, Akasha Awakened, and I was like, oh, she offers, the course. So that's good. I'm like, well, I want to take the Akashic Records course. And then I was just looking through all the courses that she offers, and she offered this Unbound course. So I was like, oh, I'll try that. Just to get a really good feel before I spend a lot of money on the Akashic course, to get a good feel of how she does her courses, how she teaches you, all that kind of stuff. So I paid the money, got the Unbound course, and found some good information. We did Akashic meditations is what they are. And again, in my Akashic meditations, I have this, I don't know if it's a block or if there's just a lot going on, but like I get black. And so I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, well, the information she had was really good. My journey itself, and it has no reflection on her at all, but it's just a me thing. I was like, I'm not getting what I really was hoping to out of this, but whatever, right? But I do think somehow subconsciously things got answered that I'm not aware of. Anyways, we did that. And she was offering this course, and it's Walk on the Wild Side. I read the description and it wasn't being offered, but I'm like, okay, like I want to do this course. Like as soon as she offers it, I want to do this course. Like I need to do this course. Like there was just no ands, if, or buts about it. Even before like taking my Akashics course, I had to do this course. I was like, I have to, like, I'm being called to do this course. That's all good. I go sign up for the course when it's finally offered. I sign up for my Akashic level 1 class as well. I do this course with her, the Walk on the Wild Side. And basically what it is it's going into your shadow self. It's going in to find the person that you left in the wild, the person that you used to be, that you are missing, that your soul needs you to be, right? Your true essence of yourself. And you're paired up with a goddess, a god, or a deity. And I got a deity, and she is beautiful. Her name is Kuan Yin, and she is so kind, so caring, so loving, so compassionate. And I just remembered when I got my what was it? What did she call them? Like the first set of information where she like basically like told us who we were, like who our goddess or deity was, a little bit about her, a little bit about like what our sort of what we needed to like work on, like what our guides were saying was the purpose for this course for us. When we got that part of it, I just remember like I broke down sobbing. Like I just cried probably for like 20 minutes. I was just so like, wow, like my soul was like, you need this. Like this is what you've been needing for so many years. Like this is homecoming for you basically. I have Kuan Yin. I don't do any real research on her. You know, I'm trying to like do the course like she wants us to. And so when I finally do research on her, she is quite a hard goddess to get or deity to get a lot of information on. But basically, and I hope I'm doing her justice, I really truly do. I haven't read up on her for quite some time now. But like I said, she's just soft, she's gentle, she's so loving, she's so caring, she's so compassionate. And she always lived her life for her. She always did what felt right for her. She always did what her true essence and her true soul wanted her to do. And her father wanted to control her. Her father wanted her to live her life how he wanted her to live her life. And I always like, for some reason, get this like picture of Frozen when I think of her. And I don't know why, but I just think of like the palace and her sister playing together. And then something happens, and all of a sudden it's like her father wants her to like take over everything, right? Like the kingdom, this, like marry this guy, do it for this reason, like not for love, but for this particular reason, because it's going to make him look good and it's going to, you know, improve their family name, like all that kind of stuff. And she stays true to herself. She stays true to saying, no, I don't want to do that. I'm not going to do that. She ends up going to convent, maybe, is that what it's called? Anyways, where the nuns are. So she goes there and she's working in there, and her father finds out, and her father basically is like, you're gonna work her hard, you're gonna do this, like, because he has all the control, right? Like he is like the king of the empire. He has all the control. So they're working her hard. They're, you know, giving her way more work or way more tasks, or they're really bad ones and all that. And she does it still with love, kindness, caring, compassion. Like she's just like openness. Like she's just like that beautiful, beautiful soul. And she does it all. And through it all, she ends up, because she's choosing herself through all this, she ends up being a deity. And the whole reason for this, the whole story is as to why I got her. And so again, when I was doing my Akashic meditations, there were majority of the time where I didn't get a picture. I didn't get that smack in my face information that I wanted. And I really, really wanted the smack in the face information. I was like, I want to do this. I want to learn this. Smack me in the face so I can get through this. And I think part of that is because I'm semi-impatient. Okay, maybe I'm more impatient than semi-impatient, but I like to just get the work done so that I can move on to the next task. Like that's just how I've always been. And in my mind, I'm like, okay, I just want to get this work done so I can move on to the next part of healing. I just want to, and I didn't get that information. And so there were times where literally the meditation would start and I would just see black and would be bawling and crying for like 20 minutes solid and just have like that release. And I was like, wow. And I'd go back and do the meditation and I wouldn't have the crying, but it still would be black. There would be like nothing that would really come in from that. I'm like, okay. And I think, I don't know, is it like a subconscious thing that I couldn't handle the information? Was it that she was being really gentle to me and allowing me the ability to release what needed to be released, but in such a way that it wasn't going to hurt me or harm me or, like, because again, she's so caring, loving, compassionate, like all of that, right? But it comes up, I do my one-on-one with Kayla, and it comes up that one of the things that I really needed to do and what I really had to learn from this whole course was self-love. And to learn who I am as a person. Like, I don't know who I am. And if you ask me that, you're like, who are you? I'd be like, I'm a mom. I'm a wife. I live on an acreage. I like snowmobiling. Like, it would be such a blanketed answer. Like, I don't know who I am. I think since like March, I've been on a quest to like really find out who I am and to really do the healing work as it's coming up and to really put myself out there and to say, is this something I want to do? Is this what I'm feeling right now? And to really listen to my triggers, because triggers are literally your soul telling you that something is not right. It is your soul saying you're not happy in this situation or this situation because it is not authentically who you are. So one of the things I would always get like triggered if someone would text message me, and especially if they had like a question or something and I just didn't have the ability at that time to answer that question, or my mind was somewhere else, or I was doing another task. Again, I like to complete a task, then move on to the next task, right? Like that's just how I am. And it, like, I would have to stop. I'd have to do that task. And it plays into like when I was at work too, and my boss, I'd be like busy focused on what I was doing for the day. And she'd be like, hey, can you do this? Can you do that? And I would get really frustrated with that because I'm like, whoa, I'm not done this task. Can it wait like 20 minutes when I'm done? Like, and the urgency of things that have to be done sometimes just, and I'm like, is it really urgent or is it just you want it to be urgent right now? Can it wait 20 minutes? And so I found like for me, just putting my phone on do not disturb for most of the day, it's definitely caused my cortisol level to go down and I'm way more relaxed because then I'm going to my text messages when I want to. My phone is always on do not disturb and it's always on quiet, so I don't hear anything that comes through, and I'm finding like that's just a huge help. But again, that was finding out who I am as a person, because that doesn't work for everybody. That may frustrate people more than it doesn't frustrate people, right? So really just asking myself the question of, is this something that makes you feel good? Is this something that, you experience joy from? Or are you going to feel guilty if you did this? Do you not feel guilty if you do this? Like asking kind of those types of questions and really, just even finding out, like, not finding out, but like doing like family obligations. Sometimes it's like, no, I don't want to do that. I really want my time. Like, I'm a person that loves my own time. I love to just be by myself. That is how I heal, right? That is how I re-energize, I guess would be the best word. But yeah, so that's how I re-energize, is by taking time by myself and really, either just having a bath or just reading a book or just being by myself, journaling. Like, that is my time to really just be me and to be calm and to really get to know who I am. And I haven't had that in a long time. And I was starting that prior to having my son. And then of course a newborn, things just went out the window and I just haven't really brought it back. But I need my time for me. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to start doing that. And it was like my friend, there would be sound healing going on in the town next to me. And she'd be like, hey, do you want to go? And I'm like, yeah, I do. Like, I love that kind of stuff. Let's go do that. And it's just, again, that time for me, right? Like, I'm a stay at home mom and I do my husband's book work. I do other people's book work on the side and I keep the house clean. I do a lot for everybody. And it's like that one thing where I'm like, no, I need to do that for me. And that's what I truly love to do. I will go do that. And it's finding the little things again that make me happy. When I was like taking the course and even just after the course, I started doing puzzles for the first time in years. And I mean, years, like I am talking like 15 years. I would sit down and I would do a puzzle. And it was really nice and it was just really relaxing and really calming. And I really like got to start to get in touch with myself again and to say, who is Dawn? Who is she? Because anyone that's become a mom knows that I don't want to say that you lose yourself, but you have to revamp who you are. Who you once were prior to being a mom isn't who you are after being a mom. Like there's just such a shift and a change of who you are. And you will have to relearn who you are again. And I really struggled with that. I really struggled with taking time for myself. I really struggled with keeping my hobbies. I didn't have hobbies. Like, well, I did. My hobby was snowmobiling, and I haven't really been able to do that in 4-ish years because being pregnant, having a kid, and it's winter and he can't go outside when it's that cold out. Like when it's snowing out, you don't want him outside like that going like 40 miles an hour. You know what I mean? Like it's cold for him, right? So as he's getting older, it's getting easier to still go and do my passion because that is one thing that I absolutely love. But what else am I? Who else am I? I love reading. I love reading books where I can learn. I love reading books about other people and their life, just anything like that. To read a novel about some made up world isn't something that I enjoy. I really don't. And I think it's because I know it's made up and I'm just like, yeah, okay, whatever. But to like be engaged in someone's life, to hear what they're saying, to read a book about health, to read a book about parenting, to read a book about memoirs, I'll read those quite a bit. That to me is interesting. I probably struggle with having an imagination, I guess. And that's probably why I like those books. I don't know. I do love to learn though. I love to take in knowledge. So just finding little ways of being who I am. And Kuan Yin was bringing that up for me. So the last little bit I've been taking a bigger step in doing things for myself and to find out who I am as a person. And I was still struggling. Like, I mean, yeah, okay, I can sit down and do a puzzle. Yeah, I can read a book for a couple hours. That's fine. Hours, let's be honest. Couple, like 20 minutes and I'm sleeping. I can do that. But what else? Who else am I? When you take all that aside, who else am I? Like, that's still not who I am. That's a passion, but that's not who I am to the core. And so I've done the Creatrix course with Kayla as well from Caution Awakened. And I ended up in that course realizing that my biggest subconscious issue is my self-worth. I'm like, that's very, very interesting. So here I am. I'm a person that needs to work on my self-love. I need to find out who I am. And yet I have a self-worth problem. I shouldn't say problem, but I have a self-worth issue, right? I'm like, okay, thinking about this and putting everything together the last little while, I'm like, but to have self-love, I believe you need to have self-worth. And to have self-worth, you need to have self-love. They go hand in hand. That to me makes perfect sense. My brain can wrap itself around that. Like, it's like, yes, like if you don't feel that you're worthy of your love for yourself, then you're not going to love yourself. And if you don't feel the love from yourself, then you feel like you're not worthy, right? It's like, again, hand in hand. So I'm like, okay, I can understand that. I've been working on a few manifestations the last little while, and again, working on who I am as a person. And this podcast is one of them. I've had this idea to have a podcast, to sit down, to discuss things for a year and a half now. And I just haven't done it. Why? Fear, for sure, right? Like it is fearful to get on. I'm not afraid of the mic. I took radio for schooling. Like I'm fine with headphones, mic, all of that. That doesn't bother me. But to be probably vulnerable, to talk about things, to worry about hurting somebody else's feelings, that if I say something about, a past event that happened with anybody, am I going to hurt their feelings? That is something that I definitely am like worried about and nervous about, but yet I think it needs to be discussed so that people can understand and people can see the whole picture, right? With that, just saying like, no, I'm worthy of this podcast. My self-love is doing this. Like, I am this person. I love to talk. I love to have conversations. I love to learn. Like, that is truly who I am. And I'm not allowing that side of me out because I'm afraid of other people. Again, self-worth. I am not, and this is a big one that like the last couple of weeks I've really honed in on. I'm not responsible for anybody else's feelings. I'm not responsible for how they handle a situation. I'm not responsible for what I'm doing if it's authentic to myself. And I'm not being cruel. I'm not being mean. I'm not out there to hurt or harm a person. But if I'm truly being authentic to me, and say, for example, if I look at somebody and they're like, hey, do you want to come out tonight? And I'm like, no, I don't. And they get hurt by that. It is not my responsibility to say, oh yeah, let me just throw myself aside and what I need and what I want to go out with you so that you don't hurt. That's not self-love to me. And that's not being worthy to myself. That's being worthy to somebody else. That's giving somebody else the love, but it's not for me. And that's something big that I've had to truly work on, is to realize like what is self-love and what is self-worth and how do I work with those and be true to myself and to say no. It's okay to say no to go do something because you truly don't want to. It's really hard with a toddler. And I get that we are parents, and when you are a parent, you do have to give sometimes to your toddler or your kid before yourself. Like, I understand that that is part of it. I also understand that it's just a stage and a phase, and it will not always be like that because these little cute beings, they're going to grow up and they're going to be self-sufficient. They're going to be able to do things. But it's like, even just working with my son right now on certain things, it's like he has a bit of a self-worth problem as well. So it's knowing that and knowing that this could be something that he's going to have to go through his whole life. Just trying like right now to really, really, really work with him on that so that he doesn't have to go through this, is sometimes where I'm like, okay, I have to put my wants or needs kind of aside and help him out, even though like it's literally something he can do. Like, he's like, getting upset about not putting his shoes on type of thing. And it's like, okay, it's fine. Just go put his shoes on and give him the hug that he needs so that he feels worthy and that he feels loved and that it was okay. And then, to have that conversation with him too, to say, hey, like you can do this, and I know you can do this, but I know that you really just wanted mom to do it because you were just feeling a little bit of disconnection and you just want a connection. And he's like, yeah, like to have that kind of conversation with him is huge, just so that he knows that he is worthy. And that's something I think maybe a lot of us as children, we didn't get that. This idea of conscious parenting, which a lot of people call gentle parenting, but conscious parenting is really like looking at the person, at your child, and seeing them as a whole person. And I always said to my husband, if your kid is acting out in any way, if they're crying, if they're acting out, if something's going on, I said, it's because they have an unmet need somehow. I'm like, they don't want to act like that. And this is before I even knew what conscious parenting was. I always said that. I was like, it's literally them just trying to tell you something. And so right now, like when my son does something, I sit down and I try to figure out what it is. Why did that happen? Why are you being like that? But not in a mean way. It's like, I see that you just wanted connection. I see that you're getting frustrated that I'm talking to your dad right now because you're not center of attention. However, let's work on that so that you learn that you're not always going to be center of attention. How can we improve that? Can you come? Can you put your hand on my leg? I can put my hand on you. Then you know that I'm still paying attention to you. that I know that you're there. And as soon as I'm done having this conversation with your dad, or there's a break in this conversation, I will turn to you, acknowledge you, and then I'll go back to your dad. Like, obviously you still have to teach them manners. Like, you can't just like stop everything and like, like there are things that you have to do, but is there a better way that we can do it versus completely ignoring them or telling them to be quiet, go sit down, go do this type of thing, right? Like, is there a different way that we could meet their needs and still meet our needs? That to me would be self-worth. Like, you still have to meet your needs, but at the same time, in this situation, you're still going to have to meet your child's needs, right? So it's how can you still meet your needs in that way? So it's something that I've really been unpacking for quite a bit of time right now, is the self-love and the self-worth. And I know karma, and I'll get into karma one day really in depth, but on a quick note right now. So through the Akashic records, through the collective, what I've been taught, what I've seen, and what I've been learning is that karma is not what we are told when we are children, where if you do something good for somebody, then it's going to come back to you. It's actually the opposite. It's if you do something good for you, if you're living your authentic life, if you're living true to you, then the universe is going to give you the good, right? They're going to give you more of that. If you're living out of alignment, if you're constantly giving to everybody else, the universe is going to keep expecting you to keep giving, and you're going to get nothing. Because the universe says, oh, they're okay with giving. They're okay with giving. They're okay with giving. It gives you what you're giving out. It's that mirror, right? And really learning that mirror as well was a huge thing for me too. It was like, oh, why is this happening to me right now? Like, what is going on? And stopping and reflecting on my own life and saying, okay, why am I being triggered? Like, what is it? Because that trigger is, again, a mirror, a reflection of what I don't like. So where in my life am I creating that disconnect in my personal life? And really working with that, I found like that's making me have more self-love. That's making me have more self-worth, and saying, oh, yeah, I don't really like when someone talks to me like that. Okay, well, how do I talk to myself? Oh, I talk to myself pretty harsh. Like, I don't say very nice things to myself. What do you think the universe is going to do? Well, the universe is going to send that person to me to talk bad, like talk mean, not so nice things. Oh, well, how does my worth go? Well, my worth goes down, right? Because I'm looking for an external person to give me that worth. Well, now you're giving it to me and I have no worth. Like, my self-worth just went down because I did, like how you're talking to me, right? I always gave so much at work. I went above and beyond what had to be done. Did my managers like it? Of course they did. Did my coworkers like it? Of course they did. They had to do less work. Why wouldn't they? The managers knew that they had a super reliable person that would get everything done that they needed, and they could give me insane time crunches, and I would bust my butt. I would work through my lunches. I would work through my breaks to get that done for them. Why? Because I had low self-worth. Because to me, to get any worth or to get any external love or anything was to get that praise from that person and say, oh, look how good you did. Okay. Meanwhile, did I take care of me? No. I didn't show my self-love. I didn't show my self-worth, but I showed everybody else, right? I gave them what they wanted. I showed them that they're lovable, they're worthy, but I'm not. And I really started unpacking that because I was like, I did that in school. I did that in my workplaces. I was doing that with my husband when it came to his company, like just so much in our house, like what I would be doing in the house, in like parenting, just everything. And I was like, whoa, step it back here. If you like doing it, great. But do you have to do it to that extreme level? Do you have to give everything? When are you taking the time for you? When are you loving you? When are you showing yourself the worth? Like, if you're overtired and you're just pushing through because somebody is like, I need this done. I want this done. Or you think, for me, it's more, I think supper has to be on the table when my husband gets home. I think the laundry has to be done today. I think the house has to be absolutely clean. And he has said to me plenty of times, he's like, it doesn't matter. If you don't vacuum today and you vacuum tomorrow, it doesn't matter. He's saying, I don't expect that to be done. Take time for you. You're tired today. It's okay to sit down. It's okay to have a nap. It's okay to relax. It's okay to read. He's saying that, right? And it's taken me a long time to be like, it's okay to not keep giving. And it's okay to show yourself love. It's okay to go take that bath because that's what you truly need today. It's okay to sit down and read that book because that to you is your reconnection time with yourself, and you are showing your self-worth by saying, I'm worthy of this time. I'm worthy of reconnecting with me. I'm worthy of slowing down. I'm worthy of taking a moment and breathing in the fresh air. I'm worthy of that. Because at the end of the day, when I pass away, what am I going to be remembered for? That's what makes me think now. What is my obituary going to say? What is my eulogy going to be? What are people? She kept a clean house? Really? Really? That's what we want? No. I would love one that says she was fun, she was exciting, she was like a joy to be around. She was her authentic self. She was able to help heal people. She was able to give good advice. She was loving, kind, caring, compassionate, soulful. Like, that's what I would like. Not like she kept a clean house. Because I'll tell you one thing. Keeping up to this idea and these standards of what I have to do and be to be lovable for other people is making me bitter. It's making me frustrated. It's making me wore out and run down. That's not what I want. So it's kind of crazy how my mind has been lately, where it's like to do everything for every other person and not to do for yourself is not what is right in this world. And we are taught from a young age to do what we are told. We are taught from a young age to almost abandon ourselves, abandon our self-worth, and do what we are told to do. You go to school and you're told when to arrive. You're told when you can go for a break. You're told when you can go to the bathroom. And if you have to go to the bathroom in between that time frame, you have to ask, and then you're granted permission or not permission. I don't know how many times I wasn't granted permission to go to the bathroom and I had to go to the bathroom. You're told when to eat. You're told when you can leave. Like, we're just always told to do. You're told to achieve more, work harder, get the better grade. Instead of saying, well, what interests you? Oh, you want to write a paper on snowmobiling because that's what truly interests you? Cool. Go do that. Go write that paper on that and then bring it back. Oh, you don't want to read The Kite Runner because it doesn't interest you? What book would interest you? Reading a book about a real person and their real life? That would interest you? Okay, we can do that. Oh, a book about dogs is going to interest you. Okay, you can read that and write the report on it. Like, we've been told so many times in our lifetime what it is that we have to do, that we automatically start abandoning ourselves. Like, we don't know what self-worth is anymore because we can't know what it is when we don't get to do what our souls truly, honestly want us to do. Again, there is a parameter that we have to be in, and I understand that. You can't just go all night and whatever, drink all night, smoke all that you want to smoke, and think that you can go to work and be like acceptable the next day. Like, that this doesn't happen. Like, that's the reality. Like, yes, there are boundaries in place and we have to stick within certain boundaries, but at the same time, why are we told that we have to work so hard to achieve something to be worthy. I don't agree with it anymore. Like, I truly don't. How did we in society, because I feel that majority of the people deal with self-love issues and they deal with self-worth issues, did we get here? How did we get here? It is a thing that majority of the people are working so hard on. So are we giving to every other person so that we feel that we are worthy, we feel love? Is that why we're always posting on social media about how wonderful our life is? We went on this vacation, we have this new vehicle, we're doing this today, we're doing that today. I'm the stay-at-home mom that can make the sourdough and everything from scratch. Like, and again, if you do that, that's awesome. I do a lot of that too. And I love it though. I truly love being in the kitchen and doing that. I truly do. But if you're not the person that likes doing that, why are you doing that? Is that so that you have the world telling you how great you are, how wonderful you are, and that's how you value yourself? Because I know that I gave to everybody else. I gave to my work, to corporations, to anything that I did. Like, and it's come down to, I've even realized I go over the top at Christmas with gifts, birthdays with gifts. My nephews came down this summer and I went insanely crazy getting them clothes because I felt like, to be worthy for them, because I only see them once a year, that I had to spend like hundreds of dollars on them to get clothes. Why? They're 9 and 8. They don't care. They just want to hang out with Auntie Dawn. They just want to come to Auntie Dawn's house, play with all of like her son's toys, go run around in the goat yard, run around on the land, maybe go for a quad ride, like just hang out with Auntie Dawn. They don't care about their clothes. It doesn't make me a better auntie because I did that. What makes me a better auntie is spending time with them, but not buying them the clothes. But self-worth issue that I had, I thought I had to buy them the clothes. The self-worth issue that I had, I thought that, at Christmas time, I have to literally overspend and get the perfect right gift. And I overthink it all the time, to the point where I don't even get to enjoy Christmas anymore. Like, it is getting to that point where I'm like, wow, this is insane. I'm like, all I do from September to December 25th is really work on Christmas and getting the right gifts and planning it out and doing all this and doing that. Why? Because I have a self-worth issue. That's why. That's like, I'm getting it this year. I'm sitting back. I'm like, no, nuh-uh. Like, I don't care. If your kid gets $50 from me this year, A, they're probably going to be happier with the $50 that they're going to be getting. And B, why do I have to rack my mind, ask you, wait for you to to tell me what they want, try and find the right gift? For what? Doesn't matter. It doesn't make me a better person because I did that. It makes me somebody that's trying to fulfill a need in my system, which was, am I worthy? If I do this, I'm worthy. If I do this, I'm lovable. If I do this, people will like who I am. I'm worthy. I'm worthy to be in that group. I'm worthy to be a part of this. I'm worthy for this. I'm worthy. I'm lovable. I am done. The only person that matters is me, my son, and my husband, right? In all honesty, the only person that matters, what they think about my self-worth, is me. The only person that matters about who loves me is me. Because no external outside source is going to fill that. I am the only person that can fill my self-worth, and I am the only person that can fill my self-love. And it is so crazy to come to that realization. It has taken a long, long time. And it actually took last night, where I was sitting down with my husband and I said, I am trying to manifest this, but this insane other deal and situation came into play, and I'm crying because I realized in the back of my mind, I never thought I was worthy enough to get that. I never thought in the back of my mind that I could manifest something bigger and better. And I listen to Slightly Spiritual podcast where Cindy always says it is either this or something better. And I'll say it, but when I don't get that lesser of the two things and I'm not getting it because there's actually in play something bigger there, there's something better coming, and I'm so focused on that one other aspect, the lower end of it, and not realizing that there's something better coming. Like last night when that happened, I was like, wow. And I said, I lacking self-worth so much right now that I thought that I wasn't worthy of this. But the universe told me I am. The universe is showing me, creator, God, source, whatever you want to call them, they're showing me I'm worth it. That I have worth. All night I sat there in this new thought process of self-worth. And I was like, wow. I knew it was something that I needed to work on. When I went into Creatrix, it was something that I needed to work on. It came up, it said you needed to work on self-worth. Like you have a self-worth block. And I'm like, okay, let's work on this block. I can do that. I've been working on blocks for quite some time now. We can do this. Never once did I realize how deep that self-worth went. I mean, it goes into so much. I'm just starting this year to look and say, I deserve to buy myself some nice clothes. I deserve to go get myself new shoes if my shoes aren't comfortable. I deserve to go and buy myself healthy food because that's what I want to eat. That's what my body is craving. It's saying, hey, let's have the fruit that's astronomically priced. Oh, you want the $16 mayonnaise because it's not full of garbage? Okay, you're worthy of the $16 mayonnaise. But do you know what I've noticed too? That when I say that I'm worthy of those things and I go and do it, I am making up for it elsewhere. I am overspending on everybody else. So it's really me not fully believing that I'm worthy of it. Deep down still, it's showing. It's like, nope, nope, nope. I've watched my bank account this summer go just down, 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 down. And I'm like, whoa, what do I have to show for it? The universe is giving me the abundance, but then I'm saying I'm not worthy of this abundance and I'm spending it even more than what the abundance was, more than what was coming in. Again, self-worth, right? It's so weird when you stop and you really analyze it and you really take the time and you really sit back and you're like, how big is self-worth for us? How big of a part does it play? It plays a huge part. So as I was sitting there last night realizing this, knowing like the self-love thing, we're working on that. But the self-worth thing, it really hit me hard last night. I will say that. And I was like, wow. And all day today, I've been thinking about it. Am I worthy? Am I? And then trying to like be like, yes, you are. Now my biggest question is, where did it come from? Was it this lifetime? Was it a previous lifetime? And if you believe in that, great. If you don't, then was it an ancestral time frame that's been brought down to myself? Am I carrying that wound? Am I trying to fix this wound for all of my ancestors? If I really sit back and look at the family, are we all suffering with this? Is it like if I heal this, will I heal so many of the family members? Because truthfully, let's do it then. Let's truly do it. You know, all that kind of stuff. Is that what we're working with? Is that what we're trying to deal with? It's just so many questions. What are your questions? What do you think? Did this make you think and open up and be like, wow, I'm doing that? And really go into deep reflection and to really think about it. I know the next few days I'm going to be going into my Akashic Records and I'm going to be working with that. Definitely going to go back in, do some Akashic meditations. I'm going to go back in and really read my record and see if I can figure it out myself and really find the root cause of where did this come from, because it's there. And I don't think it's something that anyone needs to deal with. So if it's there for you, do that deep reflection, do that deep, quiet meditation. Maybe get out your journal and just start journaling and just put the pen to the paper. That's how I do it. I just literally put my pen to the paper and whatever comes up, comes up. And sometimes there's some rage that's coming up. Sometimes there's a lot of crying that's coming up, a lot of healing that way that's coming through. Sometimes you'll just be surprised. Sometimes I just start off, dear spirit guides, or dear higher self or soul, what do I need to know? And if you're working on self-love, or if you're working on self-worth, you can say, what do I need to know? What do I need to heal? What can you tell me? And just see what comes in. Maybe you start writing automatically and you don't even realize it. Maybe it's a vision that comes in. Maybe it's you're listening to a song later that day and the information comes in that way. It could come to you in so many different ways. Maybe it's having a conversation with somebody and it shows up, that type of thing. It could be any way, but just put it out there, put it out to source, the universe, to God, and ask and see and tell me, show me, what information do I need? And it'll come. It truly, honestly will come. That is for sure. And remember, karma works where the universe gives you what you are putting out. So if you are giving to everybody, you are not getting anything in return. You will just keep giving and keep giving and keep giving. So remember, in order to change what is happening in your life, you are that mirror. And if you don't like something, do the reflection, look at yourself, and see what could be changed. How can you change it to love yourself? How can you change it to give yourself more worth? Always remember that and start doing that. And remember, not taking your breaks at work, not going to the bathroom, not taking your lunch. That is not loving yourself, and that is not showing your self-worth. What is going to be loving yourself and showing your self-worth is taking your breaks, going to the bathroom, eating a healthy meal, having water, coffee, tea, whatever it is that you may want. That is going to show that. And then the universe is going to give you more of that. So always remember that as well. That is how karma works. We have to take care of ourselves before we take care of other people. It's no different than the plane. You put on your oxygen mask before somebody else's. Again, take care of yourself. Show yourself the love. Show yourself the worth. And you're going to get more of that in return. Is it hard? Yeah. Especially if you've been conditioned, or if you have a subconscious belief that you are not lovable and you are unworthy. It is very, very hard. One step at a time. The coolest part too about the Akashics is it may take us lifetimes to come up with these blocks, but it just takes constant steps in the right direction for us to be clearing these blocks. And when you clear your block, you are clearing your ancestors' blocks as well. That is nice. You are helping to clear your line of all of this happening to anybody before you and coming in after you. Thank you for today. I hope this brought something up for you. I hope you're able to reflect in some way. I hope like you're able to maybe learn a little bit or see something from a different side. Reach out to me on Facebook or on Instagram and let me know your thoughts. I think there's so much that we can learn from everybody else. There's no one right way when it comes to any of this. And I'm just one perspective, and you'll be another perspective, and the next person will be another perspective, and we can really learn from that and always take what resonates and leave what doesn't. I hope more than anything that you can walk away loving yourself more and showing yourself more worth, because you are worthy and you are lovable. And I want you to know that. And I love you. Thank you for being here today. Thank you very much. If you liked what you heard, please share with your friends, like and follow on whatever podcast platform that you use, and subscribe. I can't wait to talk to you next week, and we will see what comes up. Who knows? Maybe it'll be the journey into my spiritual world journey, how I ended up in all of this. I don't know. We'll see what comes up, because that's originally what it was supposed to be, was my journey into the spiritual world today. And this whole topic just came out of nowhere. It just needed to be said. Obviously, it needed to be out there. Thank you again very much. I appreciate it. I love you, and thank you. Have a wonderful rest of your day.